Hi, good evening, Sagittarius. This read is for you. I like to do tarot astro studies or tarot reads on the transits. And I'd like to do all 12 signs every month, but that is not realistic for me. But I thought June would be a good time to do it because we've got these eclipses coming up and 2 eclipses in June. One in the sign of Sagittarius on the 5th or 6th, depending on where you are. And I do like to think that these reads pertain to whatever planet you hold in that sign, whatever house that sign covers, your sun, your moon, but mostly for your ascendant because I align all my notes up to the ascendant. All right, so let's take a look and see what is going on for Sagittarius in June 2020. So at first we come into the month with the sun in your 7th house in the sign of Gemini. So that could be shining a light on you in relationships, and the sun moves into the 8th house into the sign of Cancer, so healing fears. So I would say for Sagittarius in the month early June, you're going to be fairly active, proactive, possibly with close personal relationships that you have contracts with. Okay, 7th house. Okay, then we go into Mercury in your 8th house. It's possible it's going to go into retrograde at the end of the month. So at the beginning, in the sign of Cancer, in the 8th house, Mercury. So the beginning of the month, I would say there's going to be communication. Hopefully, not too many triggers because the 8th house can be transformation, death, and rebirth, and it often comes with triggers. But it could possibly be healing communication in order to heal some deep trigger issues. Okay, learning to heal some communication issues. I would have to say that that is true for Sagittarius. I'm dealing with that myself. Trying to communicate in a way from a non-triggered place, right? So then we have Venus in retrograde in your 7th house of relationship. Wow, relationships from the past coming back in the sign of Gemini, communication and ideas and possibly small businesses with close personal relationships that require contracts, right? So it possibly would involve marriage or relationships or commitments coming in from the past, or projects. If you're already in a relationship involving a relationship, it doesn't have to be romantic, right? Then we have Mars in your 4th house, so you might, and it's in Pisces, so you might be feeling very proactive, isolated at home. Maybe you're working on projects at home because Mars is an action energy, but it is in Pisces, which is a soft, watery, introspective energy. So possibly isolated periods at home, reevaluating, or just working alone at home, or channeling, because the first Pisces is sort of channeling, getting higher guidance about projects and gaining clarity about what actions to take on home projects, something like that. Then we've got Jupiter in your 2nd house in retrograde. So finances involving possibly these home projects, possibly involving like home projects, Airbnb, or like, or travel. Jupiter is traveling, it's the 9th house, or beliefs, the light sort of exploring new ideas around home, financial projects involving home possibly. Then we've got the 5th house retrograde. You might be starting small businesses with relationships or projects from the past coming back. It's in the 3rd house, or communication or writing projects from the past coming back. Possibly becoming a career and increasing your status for the long haul. Then we have Uranus in your 6th house, day-to-day routines, shifting in the sign of Taurus, so creating a stable routine, and this is going to play out for the next 7 years. That does increase your finances. Neptune in Pisces in your 4th house again, dreaming, home dreams, maybe developing sort of clarity around dreams and visions about home projects, properties, family, don't forget, or mother. So then we're looking at Pluto in your 2nd house. Confronting fears around finances, going in reverse, in retrograde, confronting deep fears about finances that stop you from living your soul's truth, because Pluto really brings out your soul's truth. So I would say creating a financial income for yourself in a way that aligns with your soul's truth, which might involve properties, because we have Jupiter in your Jupiter in your second house. So it's kind of like a belief system, developing a belief that aligns with your soul, that expands your life in a Jupiterian higher calling way, okay? Then we have your North Node in the 7th house, Sagittarius. You are going to have a complete and utter shift in beliefs around relationships, what kind of relationships you want, or working relationships. But because we've got the South Node in the first house, so you're going to let go of beliefs about yourself, limiting beliefs about who you are. It's going to open relationships up. So you're going to explore, because we've got the North Node in Gemini in your 7th house. You're going to explore new ideas around relationships, different types of relationships, communication, possibly starting small businesses with people in relationships, because of a belief shift about yourself. Possibly you become less rigid about belief systems. Sagittarius can be quite rigid. we can be. I'm Sagittarius. So you're possibly really letting go of some deep held beliefs that kept you rigid, that possibly created rigidity in relationships, that prevented them from really progressing. Now let's talk about the eclipses. We've got that in your first house. So exactly how that's going to play out, I'm sure that's going to show up in the card read, but it's in your first house at degrees of 15. Sagittarius is a fiery energy. It's passionate. It's inspired. It's self-motivated. So I would think there's going to be a real boost fire for you, Sagittarius, to initiate something. It's in your first house, the house of initiation. A new identity, possibly, about yourself. And then the full moon one, the solar eclipse, on the 8th, is in your 8th house on the 21st or 22nd. Again, is going to be possibly coming to the end. But remember, the 8th house is about finances, debt, intimacy, death and rebirth, transformations, fears, deep issues. I would say that this is going to be the culmination of a fear release, because in this first house, you're going to let go, because it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So in the 7th house, you might let go of a relationship in that first eclipse, right? There might be resolving, end of a relationship. And then in the 8th, with that solar eclipse in Cancer, which is the end of that whole Capricorn Cancer cycle, I think you're going to come to, it's the culmination. So it's possibly you get money, you receive money from a long journey of hard work, you break through, you suddenly experience financial emancipation, or maybe the opposite, and you then change a job, but somehow, somewhere, you're going to arrive at a sort of breakthrough about finances, and you're going to feel very liberated. It's going to be a rebirth, and you're going to sort of break through a limitation around finances, okay? So let's see how the cards want to talk about it, or how the cards would like to pull this whole thing together, please. So, calling in highest guides and angels for the sign of Sagittarius. Thanks for watching and for being here. And if you would like personal reads, my email is below. Shoot me an email. And I do my reads on FaceTime. So I'll have to FaceTime with you. Alrighty, let's have a look for the sign of Sagittarius. I know a lot of people with Sagittarius moons in my life. My son, my ex-husband. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, for Sagittarius, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Coming out with the Devil card. Communication. That is also Saturn. That's Capricorn. That can be addictions. There's that Decision card. Wow, this is coming up with some clarity, right? Some about the heart space, about what the Sagittarius really, how they want to progress. Looks like, because we're really getting that, remember there's karma too with the 8th house. There's karma release with these fear attachments that we have. Karma is like old embedded fear attachments to the physical material things that we feel are our salvation, that having these things are our security and salvation. And in life, you know, the divine is trying to help us see that it's not, and that the divine is our salvation, right? That's ooh, sun card. Okay, so let's take a look. Sagittarius, we've got the devil coming out here. We've got communication, Page of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. We've got the Two of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles and the Fool. This looks like because we have this breakthrough, we're going to get this sort of ending of an obsession, ending of an ego, because it's about relationships. This, because we are having a lot of planets in the 7th house for Sagittarius. This does look like kind of like domineering in the relationship department. Look at the light hitting that star right there. Wow, that is very exciting. So basically, what I'm getting is, because of that first house, this eclipse on the 6th is really hitting in your first house, I think, with all those, and then we've got, what else? We've got all these other planets in your North Node in the 7th and 1st house, South Node in your first. I think what you're getting is really releasing karmic relationships, completely clearing and ending karmic relationships, being set free of the burden of hanging in there. And then it looks like possibly other relationships coming in, or communication in order to initiate a business, communication coming in. The Ten of Wands would indicate at the end there that it's been just too difficult to stay away. But also, you know, there's a relationship that may have been really, this Six of Cups would indicate a past life relationship, possibly a twin flame situation or soulmate type situation is coming through. So what I'm thinking for Sagittarians is they're getting real clarity about what is a soulmate relationship, seeing that, wanting their past life divine mate, see, gives them more hope in life, makes them much more optimistic. This looks like the knowledge of knowing what they truly want and making brand new beginnings. If you have an eclipse in your first house, that is definitely brand new beginnings. That is the Fool card right there, coming in with a brand new beginning, because there's energies have been cleared. I think eclipses sort of have some kind of a trigger energetic clearing code that comes in and clears, resets and clears our energies, because I'm getting this clearing and breakthrough. So it doesn't look like this eclipse is going to be too crisis-ridden for Sagittarius. It looks like you're going to develop a tremendous amount of clarity around what is, you're going to make heart-based decisions, very clear, very concise. You're going to leave situations that are not in alignment with your desires, your heart. This is in alignment, King of Cups. Your those Cancer planets. What did we say? The communication, then we have Venus in Gemini. Venus will be in Cancer in July, or actually, does it move into Cancer in the mid-month? No, it moves direct at the end of the month, but it goes into Cancer in July. So we have some watery energies coming in as far as having clarity. These eclipses have put you into your heart space and taken you out of your head space or egoistic ideas or karmic relationships, ending karma. Cleared, the karma is cleared, the debt has been repaid. You're free to go into your union with your soulmate. Hope ignited around this. There's going to be some confusion, possibly some deceptions are going to occur that will be cleared. There's going to be an understanding about there's a clarity at this point in June where you understand the dynamics in your soulmate relationships. I would think for Sagittarius, relationships from the past are coming back because we have that Venus in retrograde. So I'm going to say that there's going to be a certain amount of knowledge and understanding about the confusion and the deceptions, and that this is the most abundant. Your divine mate, your soulmate, is the most divine, abundant relationship. Whew, hot. It's hot in here. I'm drinking my tea and the temperature is warm. Okay. So, all right. Now, let's see what else I can say. Let's take a moon card for you guys. So, but basically breaking through you've paid your karma off on a relationship level, and you're ready and cleared for brand new beginnings. And there is like a level of abundancy attraction that's coming with this. It's like you resonating at a higher frequency, and Sagittarius are going to be very attractive and attracting their mates, breaking through to a next sort of level. Remember we were talking about those fears, right? So breaking through the fears that kept expect powerful changes. That's the new moon eclipse for Sagittarius. You're going to have a change in relationships. You're going to end relationships that were karmic, and you're going to initiate your divine mate relationships. That's what this looks like. It's exciting, and you're going to and it's the relationship that you most desire. Look, there's that light again. It's what you truly desire. The energies are now cleared. These energies are cleared. What else can we say? Step out of your comfort zone. It may not be, the soulmate relationship may not be necessarily the one that you would have karmically been attracted to, or the one that may appear to be the most secure one for you, but it is the one that is divinely supported and guided for you. You'll know. And you just have to let your ego, you have to remove your ego issues around this relationship, because it's your divine mate, and the universe wants you to have hope in it. And because we are getting a love read, I'm going to pull a card from this deck. If you're already Sagittarius, you're in a relationship, it might end. If it's not your true divine mate, if it's a karmic relationship, it will probably end. But if it's your divine mate, it will step up to a next new level. The karmic drama between you and your divine mate will have been played out, so that you can kind of go on and do financing and careers. Because once you clear the karma, you can then use your divine relationship energies to develop abundance, right? So you're clear to actually sort of progress to financial freedom in a year from now, or some kind of positive expansion financially in a situation that may have not seemed like it could happen. So it's possible the soulmate relationship was a relationship you didn't feel could had any hope. So we get these big happy changes in a situation that felt unlikely. Okay, so those are a lot of cards. So, okay, Sagittarians, that's pretty exciting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. One more moon card. Bring love into the situation. I'm so glad I pulled that. Well, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste.